Hi, I'm Dan Bainey with Infinity Surfboards, and we're going to talk about the Annuity Smith model. We call this one the Beast model. I've been working with Annuity Smith for a couple of years on this board, and it's been one of the most fun boards for me to do. It's really specifically geared for slabs. He surfs Chopu huge, so they're trying not to tow even on the tow days. Those guys paddle, and so we started with real big boards. I was making 7.0s and 7.2s, and he couldn't ride them because they poke, they don't fit in the transition. And so we've really gotten these things down into a lot smaller board. And the idea is they can take off under the lip. What's different compared to a lot of boards that we used to do for that type of wave is, one, we keep the length short, and we do that by having a lot of volume in the board. And so when you look at the profile, it's kind of not what you would typically think of for a reef pass type of board. It's pretty thick in the nose and actually pretty thick in the tail. Compared to the automatic, it's a little thinner in the tail and it's a little thicker up in here. It's got a domier deck, so we can keep the apex of the rail low, but make the board about a 1/16 of an inch thicker in the middle. And so the reason why these work so much better is he'll ride a 6.1 with the same volume as a 6.8. You don't have the extra 7 inches of nose to poke. It's got the deep 1/4 inch concave like the automatic that helps you to bite into the wave so you don't slide out. The narrow tail does that too. And I also set the fins like I do on a 6.8, and that makes a big difference as well. Tika rides this board up until you can't paddle in anymore at Chopu. So like really big steep waves. If you look at, I don't know, there's some clips of, like Albie has this edit called In Between Giants, where he's riding a really big left, and he's on a 6.6 one of these in that edit. Jamie rode one of these in that Hurricane Marie Swell, and he got some of the best barrels, I think, in California. And so it translates to that. It's not going to be your all-around board. They're good for travel boards and really specifically tubes.
Hi, my name's Clint, and this is our favorite step-up board, the Slayer. The Slayer is something we came up with from an Indo trip about a decade ago I took with my dad. It's a step-up board that we chopped the nose off 4 or 5 inches and blended all that extra foam into the middle front third of the board. It's got the wide point about 1.5 inches forward to center. So that gives you a little bit wider nose entry, so you pack a little extra foam up here. With the lower nose rocker and that extra foam up in the middle, it gives you the paddle power of like a hybrid fishy type board. But a pintail in the back and a lot of tail rocker is all the business you need to stay in the pocket and get the best barrel of your life. So the original Slayer that I have here is a nice deep single concave with a lot of tail rocker. It gives you a lot of curve along the rail edge and kind of a straighter path through along the stringer. Real smooth transitions. It's a great tube rider. Comes as a tri-fin, but I prefer it as a quad. I'm a big quad guy. Gives you a lot of speed. Going on a boat trip, blacks, any sort of combo beach break where you're getting barreled, the Slayer is a great board to have. And this is our new update to the Slayer. We're calling it the Slayer 2. Very creative. It's a great board for packing tubes. What we've done to update the Slayer 2 is we kept the same volume or the same length, so it's really easy for you to transition. We filled in the deep single concave of the original Slayer with a subtle double. So adding that spine between your feet is a nice fulcrum to go rail to rail. It makes the board much more sensitive out in the open face. The Slayer 2 is designed to be a more versatile board than just the tube hunting machine of the original Slayer. So a great versatile board to travel with if you only have room for one board. Like I said, from the original Slayer, we kept the same volume to the same length. And the way we did that is filling in that deep single concave with the double. Gives you a little extra foam through the middle, and so we gave it a touch narrower front. Slayers love a bit of energy, especially hollow reef breaks. When you're pulling a Slayer out and you're waxing this up, you're probably gonna get barreled and be smiling. So anything with some juice, waist high plus. I've surfed this thing at triple overhead blacks. It's definitely starts redlining, but it can be done. Just a great big wave board in a small package.
This is the ledge. So this is like our kind of new age step up, we call it. So a lot of guys don't really necessarily have the need for like a 6'8" semi-gun, because for most of us, we don't get to surf those kinds of waves. I'm not doing very many trips to Puerto, you know? And so this is like our really functional step up for guys that ride alternative boards in general. So if you're riding a fish a lot, or you're riding a hybrid, you're riding like this, you know, not necessarily a short board, and you want something to get in a little bit early on those days when there is a little bit of juice, we find this is like just very successful for those guys, because you get a ton of paddle power. It allows you to sit like 30 yards further out than you naturally would. And so you kind of get the glide in. You're paddling, it feels like you're paddling a Cadillac. And so you get this glide in, you get the roll in, and you're already up to your feet and setting your line before the wave is really standing up. And so we call it the ledge, because you kind of get in before the wave really ledges and lurches. And so you have all this speed, and you can really set your line, and you can get into position with the nice pulled in pintail. It's got plenty of hold, and it'll hold in any size surf you want to paddle into. So normally, like if you look at a normal semi-gun, they're pretty rockered out, meant to fit, you know, because you're kind of taking off with those boards really like under the hook, you know, under the lip. And these ones have a little bit, almost like a fishy rocker. That's why I say they kind of translate well to guys that ride fishy or foam friendly boards, because they have that same paddle and glide, and where they really move through the water efficiently. So it's kind of a low entry. It's got a little bit more curve than like a classic Lopez style beak nose pintail would have. And then it does have, it's pretty flat through here, but a nice general curve off the tail. So it feels real smooth. And a lot of guys look at it and think, okay, it's like for taking off, pulling in, and just getting barreled. But with big open faces, you can really throw down a carve. I make a lot of these for guys like in Ocean Beach or Blacks, guys that are going on trips that want to take a step up to Indo or something like that, and have that extra board for when it's like, I need a little extra, you know, like bite and confidence. This is really kind of suits that. So, but it's definitely like when you have that option for when it's good, and you want a little cheat a little bit. You want to sit a little further out, get in a little bit early, have a little bit extra grip getting down the face, without looking. Guys, I think we all have those like 7.2 pintail semi-guns, and we surf them like once every 4 years or something like that. And so this is like a more realistic step up for like all of us average guys, to be able to, that you actually pull out, you know, once a month, twice a month, when there's like, when the swell is kind of hitting like you want it to.